Yo, what's good people, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Hopefully I'm helping people with like ideas and inspiration behind my samples and beats. So this week we're going to try like a black, dark, melodic R&B beat, show you the sample process and like in-depth analysis of the drums that I use. If you're not subscribed around here, please do so. I'm going to have my Instagram on the screen, please follow me. If you've got any questions, any help, just hit me up on there. So yeah, let's get straight into this video. So with this I wanted simple keys, just chords, nothing too crazy. So I used this whirly keys and it sounds like this. Then for the effects I put a plate reverb on as usual, not too much wetness, just brought it down a lot. I use these reels that give like, at the start like an effect, like a slow motion effect, like yeah, deflator, so yeah, pretty much does that. Then I took out the lows. Then secondly I layered the same chords on this whirly Rhodes that sounds like this. And then for the effects on that I used the cassette warm keys, then I took out some lows. For this I panned the other keys to the left and this one to the right, just so you could give the stereo field a bit more room, just to make way for other sounds. That's what I like to do with most of my frequencies and stuff like that. Pretty much give them space in different places, just so the centralization of like the drums and that can fit in. Then thirdly I added this pad that was already I think layered with keys itself, but it was very wide within the reverb, so it sounds like this. So yeah, as I said, I made it quite wide, so I added a chorus on it just to make it more thin. Then I put this big hall room just to make it even more wider, because I wanted it to sit right in the background, not override the sample too much. Then the delay, took out some lows, and then this low high just to make it more drowned out. Then next I added this ukulele that was pretty dry. It sounds like this. So I added that within different ranges of the chords just to give it a different bounce. The effects I put on that was just a reverb, quite a lot of reverb to drown it out a little bit. Then took out lows and highs. And then obviously as the ukulele was like a vintage type sound, I added these strings just to give it that same feeling. It sounds like this. Then for that I added this effect wrap and then the reverb. Took out lows. As I was going for like a dark type of emotional vibe, I added this high pitch pad that sounds like this. Then to keep that dark type of vibe I added the J37 fake Leslie. It made it really wider because the presence of the high pitch was a bit too much. And then took out loads of that high just to get rid of that presence, again because it was just too much. Then after that I added some vocals. I wanted to make them very melodic as well and sort of like go up and down octaves in my voice. So it sounds like this. For that I added auto-tune as usual. Wanted to give it quite a lot of delay just give it a different feeling. Then this chorus to make it a little bit thinner so it sat better. And then I just wanted to use this filter because I didn't want it too present in the beat, I just wanted it really in the background, just to not overriding it too much. Then I threw in these little accent vocals as well, but more higher pitched to just give it a different taste, and it sounds like this. And then with that I just threw it in the same rack to give it the same effects. Then halfway through this sample I added this bass. I didn't go crazy on it, it was pretty simple, just followed the root notes that sound like this. Then for that I put Decapitator on it just to give it a little bit more warmth and a bit of distortion and saturation. Then I took out the saturation that was too much, and then took out some lows that was just clashing too much. And then after the vocals come out of the sample, I wanted to give a new effect with a different like bell sound, so I added this. And with that, I messed with the velocity a lot just to give it that different vibey feel. And then with the effects, I added a cassette. I think I added a default one, maybe. And then Echo Boy, dense organ. Then took out loads of highs and lows just because I wanted to sit it differently in the beat, not too harsh. And then lastly, I added some percussion. This percussion loop that sounds like this. And for that it was too fast, so I slowed it down, and then I put these effects on it. I put 2 half times on because I really wanted to make it dark, so I just made it really slow. And then a room reverb. Took out a lot of frequencies because I just wanted it to just sit right below everything. Then I put another reverb on it. And then at the end of the sample I added this hi-hat that I made myself. So I added this portal to give it like a trippy effect. Modulates it, then a flanger, and then an EQ just take out them frequencies. And then I brought it down in the mix. And then for that I added some textures that just sound like this. And I brought them to as low as possible, really, just give it just a little more flavour. And then once the sample was all done, I felt like it was a bit too bright, so I wanted to bring it down, and I did that by adding this sound shifter. Brought it down 3 semitones, and it sounds like this all together. So once I was done with that, I exported it and put it in a new project just to save up CPU load. And then I reversed one, brought it down an octave, and just made it sound like this. So let's talk about the drums next. The drums sound like this. So for the kick, you wanted like a punchy kick that kick through the synth bass. So I turned this up quite a bit, and it sounds like this. Didn't put any effects on it, I just kept it dry and just made it mono. Then for the hi-hats, I just messed with the velocity just to give it a different feel, to make it like bouncy, so it sounds like that. I wanted the hi-hats to be quite present in the beat, so I kept it quite up a little bit, and I made that mono just because it was panned a little bit on the sample, so I wanted it to be flat. And then for the perks that I added, just a little bit of reverb, and then just take out that drownness, and just panned a little bit. And pretty much simple. I don't need to add any effects really onto it as long as you got the right samples. Then on the master I just added this soft clipper. I just brought this down a little bit because it was just a little bit too loud. and that's how it sounds all together. So together it sounds like this. So for that, I just kept the drums quite simple, just to give it that bounce off the sample that I already made, and it sounded pretty fire to me. So yeah, added some drum breaks at the mids just to give it a different variation, but that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Subscribe. My Instagram's going to be on the screen. So yeah, if you've got any ideas of anything you want me to do in the future, please let me know. So yeah, thanks for watching everyone. Peace out.